What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Busy Life Podcast. My name is Julie, and boy, do I have a lot of things to update you guys on. So, first of all, if you are a new listener, hi, my name is Julie. I'm so happy you're here. I'm a personal trainer, women's fitness specialist, nutrition coach, and special ed teacher. And if you are a returning listener, hey, welcome back. Today, I need to vent. I just want to tell you guys, first of all, how much I love you. I hope you're doing well and I hope that everything is going well. I had a great streak going where I was recording an episode every week. And sometimes I was recording like a few in a week so I could catch up for other weeks, and it was great. And then it was like the month of May happened. And it's currently May 2024. And May was just crazy. And it was like Ryan and I, my husband and I, decided to start looking for a house in April. And I'm going to tell you guys that whole process. And then I'm going to tell you about some school stuff. And I just want you guys to take away from this story and these stories that perseverance is it. That's the name of the game. It's about never giving up on yourself, remembering that you are capable and you got this. And no matter what happens in your life, you can pick yourself back up and keep moving. So I want you to hear these stories and I want you to be like, you know what? I can do it too. There was a time in my life where I felt like I could do it all, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you should put yourself last in any way, shape, or form, and you're going to hear that with these stories. But what I do want you to know is that if you really want something, or there is something that really needs to get done, you can do it. And this is something that I hope that I remember and teach myself and remind myself years and years to come too, because I want to be able to have this mindset and have this inner strength years from now. So this is me instilling it into you, speaking it into my future, and just reminding you that we got this. That's why this episode is called We Got This, because no matter what you're going through in life, every story has an ending. So if that helps, it's to remind you that the storms don't last forever and that the beautiful things also don't last forever. So enjoy them and take your time. But today is about perseverance. So let me just kind of walk you into what the life of Julie has looked like recently. For those of you who don't know, like I said, I'm a special ed teacher. I am a online personal trainer and nutrition coach. So I have some clients that I work with online, or I meet up with them a couple times throughout the month. I'm a teacher, so I go into school every day and I teach my adorable kindergartners, first graders, and second graders. But I'm also a wife. I got married in June of 2023, and my husband and I have decided that it's time to enter a new chapter of our life. So we decide to start looking for a house. I have been wanting a house for a long time. We currently live in a 2-bedroom condo, and while I absolutely love this condo, it's like, it's your first purchase. It's your first home. It's your first property. It's the first. But I'm Greek, which means I grew up around a big family. I grew up around a lot of people, and I would love to bring in my own little people into this world if I can. And that is just something that I've always wanted. I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always wanted to have a big family. Ryan's been the same way. So a 2-bedroom, small 1,200-foot condo is not going to cut it. So, hence the looking process. In April, we decided, you know what, it's time. I met up with my cousin, who's my realtor, and we started looking. And I just have to tell you guys what happened with this first house that we found. I thought it was the one. It was in a great neighborhood. I was like, "Oh my god, we're going to get this house, guys. Like this is the way it's going to be. This is the house, this is the neighborhood, this is it." Even though I had some doubts. I was like, "It's fine. We're going to make it work. There's like no sidewalks, but you know what? Whatever. That's nothing. That means no shoveling the sidewalks, okay?" It's a little small, but you know what? It's fine because we won't buy a lot of stuff. It'll be fine. It's great. It's great. Well, that house sold for well over 1 million, and your girl can't afford that. So goodbye to that house. House number 3 comes along. Meanwhile, I've seen like Ryan and I have seen like 20 something houses. But house number 2 comes along. Sorry, house number 2 comes along that we are like actually set on. Now this one, same thing. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is it. I could see us here. This house is so cool. Oh my god, it's amazing. It has a huge front yard, but you know what? It's fine. I'm gonna get one of those riding lawnmowers, and I'm gonna just, you know what? In the morning, I'm just gonna mow the lawn. That's fine. That's gonna be instead of a walk, I'm gonna like mow the lawn, right? No, that's a red flag. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep my walk. But you know what? Maybe instead of that, I will walk and do the lawnmower, right? I'll walk the whole thing. It'll be great. Ryan's like, "Julie, what the hell?" No, I am convincing Ryan, like, forget the lawn. This is the house. This is great. Like, if there's one thing about it that isn't perfect, then it's fine. He tells me I don't like this house. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You didn't like the other one. Like, you don't like this one. Like, oh my god, this is so annoying." But I wasn't willing to give up. And I said to him, I was like, "Come on. Our Christmas tree is going to go here, our like this is going to go there, and like this is going to be amazing, and we can redo this and redo that." And he's like, "You what are you talking about? Like you don't even like renovating. You don't like painting." I love painting like on a canvas and like painting fun colors, but you know what's not fun is painting a house white. But I know you have to do it and it's boring. So that's not fun. But like if I was painting it like a fun pink or blue, my favorite color is blue, that's more fun. So, you know what? Maybe we pick fun colors. The point is, if you can tell in the tone of my voice, this was not it. But I wasn't willing to let it go. We had seen so many houses at that point. I was like, we have to just pick one. So I finally convinced Ryan that this is the house we want. This is it. This is going to be like the dream house. It's going to be amazing. And we have to just put some work into it. And I just have to learn how to be a renovator. And we're just going to have to do it. He is like, "You know what? Fine. If this house makes you so happy, you feel like this is your forever home, I'll give it to you. I will not give it to you, but like I'll agree to put in an offer with you." So we put in the offer. It gets accepted. I literally am like, "Oh my god, this is going to be the house," and we're so excited. So we schedule the inspection. The next day is the inspection. You know, my parents are there, his parents are there, our sisters are there cuz we're like, "Oh my god, everybody come over to our house." So they're doing the inspection and there was almost $100,000 worth of damage. Damage. The garage floor was cracking. This was cracking. The bricks were falling off. The fireplace was about to explode if you turned it on. There was cracks in the kitchen. There was this over there, and this was broken, and that was broken. The septic tank was leaking. I mean, it was a nightmare. The list kept going. Oh, there was termite damage. There was no foundation under the deck. I mean, it was about to fall apart. This house, the inspection took 3 hours because everything was wrong. And this inspector was showing me every little detail. So, why am I telling you this story? Well, because I needed to listen to my gut. I needed to just let it go. You know what? Ryan didn't love this house in the first place. I'm over here convincing the hell out of him, and it's just not worth it. So I cried. I'm like, I really wanted this house to work. I just wanted it. Well, we let it go. So we returned to the drawing board. And this is where my perseverance is important. I was so tired of looking at houses. Now, you're going to laugh at me because I know you're like, Julie, it's literally been like over a month. There's people that look for like a year and years to find a house. But it was still exhausting to me because we were seeing house after house after house after house. And for me personally, I was over it. I know that there's been people out there who have looked way longer and it's been way more stressful. And I feel you, but I was already done. My body was done. So I'm pissed. I'm tired of looking. I'm getting more frustrated, not only because we're not finding anything, but because that means we're going to stay in our condo longer than I wanted to. And that's just not helpful because I also want to try to start a family and I cannot comfortably have a child in this condo because there's not enough room in here. I mean, it's like, it was just making me so upset. We go to see another house. I'm like, Ryan, I just want you to see this one with me. Like, I don't think it's the one, but I just want you to come with me. We go and we see it. And we're like, this is cool. Like, I like the setup. I like the layout. Ryan's like, actually, yeah, this is like way more what I wanted. But I don't love it. And I'm like, well, no, like I've loved all the other ones. I don't love this one. And he's like, well, what do you not like about it? I'm like, oh, it needs so many updates. Like it was built in 1989 and it looks like it was designed in 1989 and has not been designed since 1989. So that wasn't for me. Everything was outdated. Ryan is 6'10" and everything was made for short people. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not the house. And so I said to him, if we could find this house, but updated and, has more taller sinks and toilets, I'm in. Guys, I shit you not. We walk out of the door of this house, and across the street, the house is on sale. Like, we went and saw, let's pretend the number is 10, and number 9 across the street is for sale. I was like, wait, I didn't know 9 was on the market. And, my cousin and Ryan are like, yeah, it wasn't. Like, this must be new. It was like the universe heard me and was like, okay, she's done. Here you go. Like, what? That shit doesn't happen. So now I'm getting nervous and I'm like, okay. This is the house. Like, this is going to be the house. This is going to be the house. We go in, we do, our walkthrough or, like we set up an appointment and everything. And it was amazing. Long story short is that's the house we bought. Today is May 23rd, 2024, and we went to closing today. We got the house, and it's been almost 2 months of all of this and back and forth stuff and papers to sign and checks to deposit and all this stuff. And it feels like a weight is lifted off our shoulders because as of right now, I own a house. Ryan and I own a house. What? It's so crazy to me. So the important lesson with that was that we didn't give up. I gave up a little bit, but I wasn't really going to give up. I knew I wanted a house. I was angry enough that I knew it was time to get out of the condo. And it happened. It happened because I kept working at it. Meanwhile, in the midst of all of this, y'all know. Actually, I don't even know if I've talked about this on the podcast. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't like being sick. I don't. I am not a good sick patient. Now I know you're like, well, who the hell does? But like, I really don't. I have anxiety, which a lot of my listeners know. A lot of you guys know it. And being sick makes it 10 times worse. I can only handle maybe like a stuffy nose or a headache or whatever. But you know what's going to happen is then if it goes into my chest, now I'm thinking, "Oh my god, do I need an inhaler? Oh my god, do I have COVID? Do I need to go isolate myself for about 5 days? Oh my god, what if I can't make it to closing because I have COVID? Oh my god." Then it's going to change closing and then we're going to have to sign all these other papers and we're going to have to do this. I My brain is like that sometimes. So that's not fun. And if you are somebody who has anxiety or even just racing thoughts, has a lot of anxious moments, you get it. It's not fun. So last week I was sick and I was like, this better fucking go away before closing it. And I'm pissed. I also don't like being sick because that means I have to take off work. And if you're a teacher, sometimes it's not as easy as you would think it is to take off work. You have to leave subplans, which means you still have to plan for the day, but you have to leave the plans for somebody else to do. And you know what? If you don't trust your sub to do them because maybe you don't have a prearranged sub, you have some random Joe Schmo who is kind enough to take your job. Now you don't know if you really want to leave those plans. So you have to plan a whole other day of, busy work because that's what the kids need to do when they see this person. But now you're a day behind and it's stressing you out even more. And you can't plan IEP meetings on that day because you're not going to be there. It's not fun. And half the time when I'm sick, I'm still getting texts from my coworkers and emails. So I'm still working because that's just the way it goes. Unless I'm on vacation and I quite literally lose my cell service, I'm probably still answering text at least, which is a boundary I know I need to work on. But it sucked because guess what? I was sick for 5 days. I went to work last week on Monday and then took off the rest of the week because I was sick. And it sucked so much. I couldn't go to the gym because I had a chest cold. Like everything was sitting in my chest. I couldn't sleep because I was coughing up mucus all the time and I was just so frustrated. It was the worst. It sucked so much. Having like chest congestion, in my opinion, is one of the most frustrating sick symptoms. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't like doctors. We love our doctors, but like I don't like going. I totally have white coat syndrome. I don't like it. I do it enough. I don't want to do it. No, thank you. So I told myself, I said, my promise to myself is that if I am sick for longer than a week, then I'll go to the doctor. But otherwise, we're going to try to use some Mucinex and some Advil. Sounds like a good combination. My sister, who is studying to be a PA, she's like, sure, those are safe. Go for it. It still sucked. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to the gym. And I just was so upset. It felt like it literally ruined my week. But I had to remember that when that happens, that's our bodies telling us it's time to slow down. You are doing way too much. It's time to slow down. And you probably got sick because your immune system is a little bit lower, because you are tired, because you have been exhausted. You have been focusing a lot on getting ready to buy your home and packing and deciding what you're doing with your condo and blah, 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 blah. It is exhausting. Also, we love it when our kids come up to us and just sneeze on top of us. It's wonderful, right? Mm. So yeah, that happened. And I took a whole week off of working out. I did not walk. I barely stretched and I did not eat right. I'm just going to say it. It sucked. My mental health was not in the best place because I was just so pissed that I was sick. And I mean, really, I hope this episode just reminds you how human I am too. I always want to come on here and help you guys as best as I can, but I felt that today's episode really needed to just be the most authentic version of me that I am right now. And I didn't even record an episode. I was so not myself. I was so, stressed with everything going on. And it doesn't even matter what it is. You know, you're allowed to be stressed about whatever is going on in your life. And my theme of the podcast that I always tell you guys is, what are you going to do about it? You know, there is something you can do about almost everything, but not everything. Everything. Sometimes you need to just say no. Sometimes you need to skip the week. Sometimes you need to take off of work. Sometimes you need to get sick to remind yourself to rest. And sometimes you need to find the wrong house to find the right house. And the story, unfortunately, doesn't end there. We also found out that a family member of ours has cancer. Knock on wood, I think they are okay. I think they're in good hands, and we're keeping all of our fingers and toes and everything's crossed. But so far, we're doing good. But that's not fun either. I mean, there is so many things in this world to be thankful for, but there's also so many things that are heavy and hard and frustrating. And you know what else happened? There was some drama at work. Because when is there not drama at work? It happens. It happens at every workplace. And I had a couple people try to pull me into the drama. And I had to say, you know what? I can't right now. This is not the time. Sometimes there's a time to say yes, and sometimes there's a time to say no. And I guess the moral of all of this is that you really do know what you need. And sometimes we just don't want to listen to it. It's just like with the houses. I wanted those houses to work so badly. The first one I thought was going to go to a great school for my future kids. I loved the size of the yard. I loved the neighborhood. I mean, it was amazing. But there was a lot I also wasn't loving. I mean, my cousin and I literally walked around that house and she was like, "Where are you going to put your TV?" And I was like, "Oh, we'll make it work." And she was like, "You'll make it work." This is your forever home. What do you mean you're gonna fricking make it work? Where is it gonna go? So that was bad. And then the other one that Ryan did not like, and I'm over here crying and begging him to get it for me like a baby. It's like, what? Julie, you should have just went with no, because guess what? That house had $100,000 worth of damage. No, thank you. I mean, guys, the universe is working for us, not against us. And too often we feel like it's against us. And I feel like that happens when we're tired, when we're run down, when we're not seeing the bigger picture, when we're too focused on our immediate gratification over our long-term gratification, or a long-term project, a long-term success, a long-term result. It's the same thing with working out. A lot of the times people don't want to start it. I had a conversation with my mom that about how a lot of people are really into all those weight loss shots right now. And I understand every single person is different, and I am not judging. But what I told her was that I know somebody in particular who is on them and they are not exercising at all. And I mentioned that when they come off of this, if they come off of it, they might have a hard time and maybe will gain the weight back, because that's typically how weight loss medication works. And she said to me, Julie, not everybody's willing to put in the work. And that made me mad because I was like, well, if you want something in life, you're going to have to work for it, but you're also going to have to wait for it. You cannot do 12 crunches and then all of a sudden have 6-pack abs. I wish. If that was the case, we all would have the bodies of our dreams immediately. But you know what we forget is that our body is already a dream. Our body is a miracle. And not to go onto a body tangent, but that in itself is something that is worth the wait. A house, a property that you are purchasing that actually checks off every single box of yours, or majority of them, and maybe only misses the minor things, is worth the wait. Getting better so you can actually go to the gym and enjoy a good workout, or so you can be at work and actually be present instead of laying there with your head in your hands because you have a headache, is worth the wait. All of the things in life that we honestly take for granted are worth it. And if you can just keep persevering, I know there's people out there going through way more. And it's honestly not about that. It's about the skill. If you can practice the skill of perseverance with the small things, you'll be more inclined to use it for the big things. And it's not to say that buying a house is not stressful, or dealing with a family member who has cancer is not stressful, or being sick is not stressful, whatever, but it's the skill. If you can practice putting in the work, showing up for yourself, whatever it is, create the Instagram reel, send the text, call the person, send the email, get out of your bed when the alarm goes off, prep the food that you don't really want to cook, but it's going to make you feel better. Walk away from the ice cream, even though you really, really want it, but it makes you bloat and have diarrhea afterwards. If you can do it, you should. Because you know why? You got this. You got this. I don't know where you are right now. I don't know if you're listening to this going for a walk, if you're listening to this in the car, if you're listening to this like in your bed, wherever you're listening to this. I want you to just stop for a second, unless you're driving. Do this part when you're not driving. And I want you to just take a deep breath. I want you to put your hand over your heart, your right hand over your heart, and your left hand over your belly. I want you to take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, hold it, and breathe out. And I want you to do that a couple times. And I want you to ground yourself. And you know what I want you to tell yourself? That you got this. You got this. You were given this because you got this. There is no one who can do this better than you. Whatever situation you have in front of you, you can do it. I believe in you. I am always amazed at the strength that I have inside of myself that I forget. And it's not even just with the 3 stories I told you. It's with anything. I'm reflecting on many, many things that I've been through in my life. And it's amazing. We have so much strength inside of us. We have to persevere. We have to show up. We have to find that fire inside of us and ignite it and just do the damn thing. Keep going. Even if you're not there yet, I don't care. You will get there. If you've been doing this for years, don't stop. Do you really think that Taylor Swift wrote one song and then said done? I mean, obviously fucking not. But come on. She's been torn down a ton of times. And now she's named Time Magazine Person of the Year and is a billionaire. There's so many people out there, celebrities and normal people, that have fallen and fallen and fallen and wanted to give up 100 times. 100. And even if this is your 101st time, I'm not letting you. I want you to bookmark this episode and I want you to save it. And even if you fast forward it to the end where I kick your ass, that's fine. Because you know what? You deserve it. You deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to reach that goal, to finally lose the weight, to get the promotion, to find the house, to beat the cancer, to do whatever it is. You deserve it. And the only person who is getting in the way of it is you. You can't let fear, doubt, guilt, shame, anger, all of it get in the way. Anxiety. No. You get out a journal, you write everything down, you create your plan, you vent, and then you rip it up and you throw it away because you don't have time for those kinds of thoughts. You show up for yourself because if you don't, you won't trust when anybody else will. At the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? You see you. The best person you could see. Don't you dare let that person down. I won't let you. I have always said this, but my DMs are always, always, always a safe place for you guys. I will never judge you. I'm here to help you no matter what it is you need. And just so you know, the minute you do that, I'm not going to let you slip. I'm going to keep asking you, did you get it yet? Did you do it yet? Did you get up today? Because you need that. And you deserve that in the best way possible. And I also want you to remember that it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel because we're humans. We need to feel our feelings. It's ridiculous to pretend that we can be these perfect robots all the time because we're not. We're not. There's going to be weeks and times when maybe I need to skip an episode, or when I get sick, or when I cry, or I get frustrated, or I have anxiety, or whatever it is. It happens. It's part of life. But I won't give up. I will keep going. And I will tell myself, I got this. Every single time. And I hope you do too. And I hope if there's anything you took from this episode, it's that you are so much stronger than you think you are. You can handle it. You might need a break. You might need to learn to say no. You might need to create boundaries, whatever it is. But you can do it. You can do this. And I'm here for you every step of the way. I am so thankful that you guys are here. I absolutely love this podcast family, creating these episodes for you guys. It is such a joy, and I look forward to it every week. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, seeing how you're doing, what's going on in your lives. And I just want you to know that I am so proud of you. We got this. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.